Powell, and welcome to that spirit of quiet days. The way of a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood, and it saved some part of this day that I originally rued. Showing you just how a little bit of nature can actually lift your mood just a little bit. That's a poem by Robert Frost, and it's talking about reflecting. You know, we've all been busy through the Christmas season, and probably all of us rushed around a little bit more than we wanted to. And I know we all still have obligations, but isn't it nice during this time to kind of sit back and not be in a rush and just kind of take in some of the things that nature has for us? I want to give you another poem by Robert Frost that I like really well, and I want you to take in the words to it. I think you'll really enjoy this one. So imagine, if you will, a time maybe 150 years ago when a man with a team of horses is walking through the woods in the snow, and he stops and he looks at it. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. But he will not see me stopping here to watch the woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. I love that poem, particularly the last verse of it. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep. Yeah, I've got obligation. I've got things I've got to do. And miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Those last two lines are identical, but I don't think Robert Frost was at a loss for words. It means one thing the first time he says it. He's saying, I've got miles to go before I can rest. And it's like the second time he says it, oh, there's the realization. I've got miles to go before I sleep. I've got to do this. I've got to go through this. Yep, even in the quiet days, we have things we have to do. But isn't it beautiful that we have this time that we can look back and rest a little bit? You know, I used to read this poem when I taught, actually middle school at the time. I was teaching middle school, and I had a group of students. And, you know, I was a younger teacher, and I liked to have a snow day too. So if there was snow in the forecast, we would read this poem out loud. And every time it came to the word snow, and I read it, they would read it. They'd all say the word in unison, snow, real loud. It's not as effective as the Hinky Luta snow dance song. That's another time. But yeah, look that one up if you want to. Hinky Luta snow dance. That's a really neat one for this time of year as well. But it was really fun to do that. Beautiful little poem there. And that reminds me, when I called this that spirit of quiet days, I had someone say to me, you apparently don't have young kids at home if you think it's quiet days. Well, that's true. I don't have young kids at home anymore, but I'm around a lot of young kids. I've got 3 beautiful grandchildren. But I know that, yeah, they might get a little rowdy this time of year, but think about the children for a moment. They're just having fun. They're just being young. And I want to give you another little poem of sorts. It's actually more of a piece of prose, but it's from Khalil Gibran's story, The Prophet. And he talks to us about children. And I want to read to you what Khalil Gibran said about children. It's from The Prophet, and it says, a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, speak to us of children. And he said, your children are not your children. I remember when I was a young father, that line didn't resonate with me very well because I think, what do you mean my children are not my children? My children are my children. Well, let's listen to what he says. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life, longing to fulfill itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. Think about that. There is no way that this 63-year-old man can understand what a 6-year-old child's going through right now. I was a 6-year-old child once, but I wasn't a 6-year-old child living in 2025, almost 2026. So, no, I have no idea what children are going through. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. Golly, I love that line. Yeah, you are simply the bow, and your child is the arrow. And listen to this part. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. Oh, parents, if your children are trying you a little bit right now, just be the stable bow for them. They're the arrow. Let them go. Let them have a good time. I'm thinking right now of that song, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, where it says all the things the kids are doing, and then it says, and Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Well, it'll be starting again really soon, so just let the kids have a good time. Enjoy them. These are the wonderful days. And yeah, maybe you can't get that spirit of quiet days completely quiet, but they sure are relaxing. God bless you.